What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a review for Sistas on BET. This is my first time reviewing Sistas, so I'm looking forward to talking about this show with you guys. This is season 2, episode 13. Now, you guys know I don't really like jumping into a show midway through, but with the haves and the have-nots coming to an end, I was like, you might as well pick up something else. And I'm like, you got the Sistas. Also, The Oval is returning February 16th. Looking forward to that. Now, this episode was titled Let It Be. All right, you guys. Let's go ahead and get into this episode. There were some things that annoyed me in this episode, but we're going to talk about it. All right, you guys. So before we get into this episode review, I do want to address a comment that I came across earlier. And I do want to tell you guys, when it comes to me cussing on this channel, I try not to do it as much. Sometimes I do it when I get really, really heated, because most times I'm talking to you guys, it's just normal. But I'm going to dial back on it. I'm going to work on dialing back on it. So work with me. But let's go ahead and get into this episode. So this episode actually picked up where the last one left off. You guys remember, in the last episode, I'm talking to you guys like I reviewed the last episode, I didn't. But in the last episode, I'm recapping. So the last episode, you guys remember, Andy, Sabrina, Karen, Danny, they were all at the bank so that they could give Gary the money that Gary had gifted to Andy. I don't know why Andy is like really stupid. Like, come on, Andy. I don't care how much Gary threatened you or whatever he said or did. Ain't no way I would have gave Gary that money back. Like, after, and especially given to the point that Danny made once Gary left the bank. Danny said to, Andy, like, you shouldn't have gave him that money back. Like, after everything that he's put you through, you should have kept it. And I was like, exactly. Most times I don't even agree with Danny, but in this instance, I agreed with Danny. And then Sabrina and Karen over there telling Danny to shut up and mind her. I'm like, no. For once, I'm in agreement with her. So they actually did have a long back and forth about Danny's ex-boyfriends. We're gonna talk about Danny in a little bit. We're gonna talk about Danny because the final scene of the episode actually really pissed me off, and I'm gonna tell you guys about it in a little bit. So we see everybody go to work. Sabrina, she's already at work. So Karen left to go to her salon. We'll talk about Karen in a little bit. Danny went to go to her work. We'll talk about her. Andy went to the office, to the law firm. So she goes to Fatima's office, and actually, before she got to Fatima's office, Fatima was already in her office. Hayden came to Fatima's office, and Hayden. So from what I understood from Fatima, which I hate Fatima's wig, by the way, for season 3. Oh, congratulations to Sistas. They got renewed for season 3. So congratulations to them for that one. Tyler Perry, please give my girl Fatima a better wig. That wig is terrible. But yeah, so Hayden went to Fatima's office, and like I was about to say, from what I gathered from the conversation that Fatima and Hayden had, not even the conversation that they had, is the conversation that she had with Zach later. And from what I understood, she and Hayden only had sex once, so now homeboy is sprung. So he actually came to her office to drop off some receipts from the houses that he went to. He told her he went there the day before. So he's asking Fatima, can they start over? And she tells him, no. He's like, are you seeing someone? I'm like, dude, let it go. If she's seeing someone, the woman told you no. Learn what no means. So then he tells her he's the best thing that ever happened to her. If he was a one-time thing and she's telling you no, obviously you weren't the best thing that ever happened to her. You were the worst thing to ever happen to her. So then Fatima does call Zach, and she's asking Zach if Hayden came down to the house yesterday. Fatima and Zach had this long dialogue. Why are they always so loud? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it is 10:30 at night. Oh my God, I really hate these people. I really hate these people above me. They are the worst neighbors I've ever. Nope, they're the second worst. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so they had a back and forth about if he came down there. Eventually, Zach said yes, he did come down there. She asked him, did he threaten him? They had a back and forth about if he threatened him. Eventually, Zach said yes. She said, so what he say? He said in not so many words that he would get me, taken out of the program. So Fatima's like, okay, don't worry about it. Like, I'm gonna put him in his place. And Zach is telling Fatima, like, don't do that. And then they had another back and forth. But we're not gonna go into it. So we see Andy. So Andy finally made it to the office. So Andy goes to Fatima, and she tells Fatima to bring her a file. So Fatima's like, so are you good? And Andy was so rude. I would have told her, you know what? Forget you. Like, I was just trying to see if you was good after everything that's happened to you. You know what? You my boss. We just gonna have that kind of relationship. I ain't gonna ask you how you are. Like, she was really rude. And then when she went to her office, Ms. Irene was in her office cleaning, and Andy was rude to Ms. Irene. I'm like, damn, Andy, I get it. See, this anger that Andy's had, this attitude that Andy has for Fatima and Ms. Irene, you should have had that same energy for Gary, but you don't have that energy for Gary. It's stupid to me. Why don't you have this energy for Gary? Why? I don't get it. So Ms. Irene also tells Andy that that Paris is somewhere around the building. Oh, yeah. All right. So then let's wrap Andy up with a bow. So Andy is in her office later in the episode, and her phone is ringing. So Fatima comes to her office and tells her, like, yo, Gary has called now 17 times. What do you want me to say to him? I would have told him to drop dead. I would have answered the phone and said, Gary, drop dead. Like, what? What does Gary want now? What does Gary want? You were moaning and complaining about your money. You got your money. Now what do you want? Gary is annoying. So Fatima, actually Gary asked Fatima, what did she think about this situation with her and Gary? Girl, I can sum it up in 2 words for you. Maybe more. You, Andy, are a complete moron. You are stupid. And she's talking about she loves Gary. Girl, not ex-wife, his wife came after you. The feds came after you. He almost smothered you to death, but you still. Let's move on because I'm tired of talking about Andy already. Like, for her to be a lawyer, Andy has book smart, but she has no street smarts, no common sense, no nothing. Let's move on from Andy because, like I said, Andy annoys me, and she's already annoying me. Let's move on. All right, you guys. Next, let's talk about Karen. So Karen finally makes it down to the salon, and Pam is there. And Pam goes to Karen to give Karen the credit card statement. And initially I was like, wait a minute, so you opened this woman's credit card statement? That's a federal offense, number one. But then when she says the business credit card, I'm like, okay, cool. How did that... That's the second time. I'm not stopping this. I just noticed that it went really dark. I don't know how. I'm not moving that much, but whatever. So she handed her the credit card statement, and on the credit card, someone has charged almost $6,000 on the credit card. Now, Pam is saying that, she called the credit card company and she confirmed that it was Zach. Now, the question that I have is, how did you confirm that? Because when it comes to credit cards, if it's in the business name, or it's more than likely, it's in the business name, but it has Karen's name up under it. So you would have to go through those safeguards before they could ever confirm to you who did what. And then she said that they confirmed that it was Zach that used it. But how did they confirm that? So because I mean they would have to consolidate that stuff, like look at the signatures, go to the merchants and try to see if the merchants have any footage, or if the merchants can tell who signed for it. Like, it's a lot of safeguards to that. So I don't necessarily believe Pam 100%. So Karen tries to call Zach and try to figure out what's going on. Zach is at the airport with Danny, and he sees his phone is ringing. He doesn't answer the phone. So Danny asks him who was that, and they have a back and forth about it. He eventually tells Danny that it was Karen that was calling him. And, Danny's like, need to get back with her because she got a bet with Sabrina about them, XYZ. And then, Zach is also telling Danny telling Danny how Fatima treats him much better than she treats him, and how Karen treats him. So he eventually blocks Karen's number from calling. So back over at the salon, Karen is still trying to call Zach, but with him blocking her, it's not going through. So then Pam's boyfriend shows up at the salon, and I'm like, something's off with that situation right there. I don't trust Pam. I don't believe it was Zach. Zach is a lot of things, and stupid is one of them. I mean, come on. First of all, think about it, Karen. Zach. It's Zach we're talking about. The one who's been going from place to place to place. If Zach was going to use your credit card and use almost $5,000, why didn't he get a hotel room to stay? Why has he been bouncing between? Why did he bounce between Danny and now Fatima? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So then we see Karen. So Karen goes down to the airport looking for Zach. So she finds Danny. She asks Danny, like, have you saw Zach? And she's like, well, I don't know where he is. She said, call him. So they call him, and he's on a plane. So he's cleaning the plane, and then Danny and Karen go to the plane where Zach is. Danny it was in the background. Karen and Zach got into it with each other. Now, Zach was telling Karen that, she was like, you used my credit card, and you spent almost $6,000 on it. And Zach was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She was like, either you're going to give me my money, or I'm going to the police. Like, so wait, you're going to go to the police? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wasn't paying too much attention to this scene when he was talking about his grandfather. So you guys have to correct me. You guys have to tell me what was she talking. I know she said he left some stuff in the, that's so weird to just can't. When I move my hands up, my light gets darker. Ooh, that's interesting. I have got to hurry up and buy me a boom light. That's weird. Interesting. Where was I at? What was I talking about? Yeah, his grandfather's stuff. I guess he left some stuff at her house in the closet. It's his grandfather's stuff. And she's talking about what she's going to do with it. So once he leaves, because he told Danny and her, F them. And Danny asked, Karen, like, are you sure that he did this? And Karen was like, well, whose side are you on? Are you on his side or on my side? And I'm like, actually, Karen, she's making a valid point. If you're going to accuse this man of something, especially something as deep as theft, stealing, make sure you got the right person first. So I'm in agreement with Danny. So then once, Karen leaves, Danny calls Sabrina, letting Sabrina know what happened. Don't want to go ahead and talk about this with Sabrina, with Danny? Yes. Let's go ahead and get this out the way with Danny. Because I was going to say this to the end, but let's talk about it now. So Danny, she's behind her desk at work. These two racist hillbillies walk up. And they talking to Danny. One of them called her a black bitch. I had to rewind that twice. When he called her a black bitch. Then the other one, he almost called her a nigger. But he paused. I'm like, wait a minute. What? Like that's my issue with Tyler Perry's shows, especially when it comes to like the racist stuff. When it comes to white people, I just don't like seeing it. Like I would understand it if this was just show like what's the show where they what's the show? What's that show? Lovecraft Country, because that show takes place in the 50s where racism was running rampant. So I understood with Lovecraft Country. It still was kind of hard to see it on television, but with the setting of that time period, I understood it. But again, it was just a little off-putting to my spirit to see a white person calling black people niggers. It just did something to me. But this shit right here takes place in current day, and you got this man walking up to a woman, a black woman, calling her a black bitch, and telling her to stay away from their brother. They don't want her in the bloodline. I'm like, oh my God. I would have told Tyler Perry that day, you know what, Mr. Perry, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not gonna. I know this is acting, but that's just something that I can't sit with. I can't. I mean, I know you guys might not be. I know you guys are not racist, and I would say that. I know you're not racist. I know you got to read the role, but ain't no way I'm gonna sit there and listen to that. He literally called a girl a black bitch. Couldn't get past it. Let's move on and wrap this episode up. All right, you guys, down at the bank, Maurice. I really want to know what gay people Tyler Perry knows. Shut up, you guys. Don't even say nothing in the comment section. Don't say it, because I'm thinking what you probably might be thinking. But the question that I have, why has Maurice been, I mean, I would honestly believe that Maurice is, but I mean, we know how thirsty Maurice can be and how when he flirts. Because I mean, it's just coming off all kinds of weird to me. Him and is his name Jacoby? The way that the interaction. The boy walks up to Maurice, asks him for help or something. Maurice is like, leave me alone. Stop bothering me. Is that how you treat somebody new at your job? When they come up to you and ask you for help, leave me alone. Stop bothering me. Don't mess with me. I don't like you. You don't know me. It's annoying. Maurice, okay. So Maurice actually tells him, why don't you go talk to Sabrina about it? He says, well, Sabrina's avoiding me. He's like, why would Sabrina be avoiding you? He says, because Sabrina likes me. He was like, where would you get that from? He's like, you don't know when a woman likes you. He says, no, I'm gay. And he was like, you're gay? I'm like, oh my God, are you that blind? Are you that oblivious? The man screams it. Everything about him. Oh God. Okay. He's like, I just thought you were just, a big flamboyant guy. Oh, shut up. What? Okay. Yes, some of these scenes he writes out makes no sense whatsoever, especially this one. Now, I know people might not know it. Not every gay person acts like Maurice, but somebody that effeminate and flamboyant, what would you think? What would you think? I know that there are guys that are in touch with their feminine side, but that's a different level of femininity. Just saying. All right. So then he eventually talks to Sabrina. Now, Calvin comes down, and Calvin is giving Maurice's key back. Yeah, this scene with Calvin and Maurice was annoying too. Bitch, are you wearing my perfume? Bitch, don't be playing with my toys. I'm sorry, but that scene that was funny when he told him don't play with his toys. Well, you like it. That was fun. I have to give it to him. That was funny when he said that was funny to me. I will give him that. So as Calvin is getting ready to leave, he notices Sabrina in the office. He's like, what's going on with that? Honestly, when it comes to the back and forth with Sabrina and Calvin, it's annoying. It's annoying to me. But yeah, you guys, that is the first review for Sistas. Despite the fact that I have my grievances with, I think I have my grievances with it. I think I have my grievances with every show, but nonetheless, I like the shows. I just have my grievances. I'm gonna let them know up front. I do talk about what I don't like, but at the end of it, I do tell you guys that I still like it. I just have to point out the things that annoy me or get on my nerves. But you guys, that is the review for Sistas. Like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop things else. Share this video. And until the next one, you guys, do me a solid favor, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear your mask, and socially distance, and we will all get through this together. Oh, also, you guys, head over and subscribe to the Planner channel. And I'm going to be uploading a video. I've been saying it for the last week, but I'm uploading a video soon. So I will see you guys in the next one, which is going to be Salt Lake City. So I am going to do a review. I'm not doing a review of Orange County's reunion. I'm just going to roast Kelly Dodd, if you guys know who that is. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.